Well, on the sixth and, for now, final day of a temporary ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, more hostages have been released this morning. But Qatari negotiators say they're still optimistic that a third truce extension can be struck in the next few hours. The deadline for the current deal expires tonight, our time. Well, joining us live now is the former Middle East advisor to the Pentagon, Jasmine El-Gamal. Jasmine, good to see you again. I just want to start with this claim by Hamas overnight that a 10-month-old baby boy was killed in Gaza, along with his family. This was before the ceasefire started, mind you, but the confirmation has now only come through. Again, according to Hamas, yet to be verified. But how damaging to truce talks can this be?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on again. Hamas has obviously lied before about hostages being killed. So some people are holding out a very small ray of hope that they are also lying about this. But it's probably the case that they have been killed, although we still have to wait for confirmation. And Hamas is saying that they were killed in an Israeli strike. Now, to answer your question, I don't believe that however tragic obviously this is, I don't think that it will derail sort of the larger talks about hostages. Prime Minister Netanyahu has stated again and again that his number one objective from day one, and the objective of the U.S. as well, has been to get the hostages out, as many hostages as possible. So this, it's a tragic incident if it is true, but I don't see it derailing the ultimate larger objective of trying to get every hostage home safe as can be.
Yeah, well, Benjamin Netanyahu has said again this morning that his plans haven't changed. He wants to eradicate Hamas. Yeah, the war will eventually resume. Do you have any reason to doubt him?
I don't. The other thing that he said when he was speaking about his objectives was the objective to completely dismantle and eradicate Hamas completely from the equation, ensure that Gaza is not ever going to be a threat to Israeli existence again. I was just speaking with someone from Israel in the last few minutes, actually, and he was telling me that there was this sense that basically there was sort of a regret that I don't think he used the word complacent, but I got the implication that he was saying that we shouldn't have become so comfortable with Hamas living across the border from us. We grew to believe that they were going to be sort of a nuisance, but not an existential threat, and we were prepared to live with that, and that was a mistake.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people in Israel have that feeling right now, which is what is giving Prime Minister Netanyahu the sort of mandate to go in and to continue this war after the humanitarian pause.
I mean, I've said this a few times. I don't think Hamas can actually be defeated, though, because it subscribes to an ideology. I mean, the charter, it's right there for you online if you want to read it. It wants to obliterate Israel. That's the word. It wants to obliterate. So, I mean, even if you wipe out so many fighters, it can just re-emerge, can it not, down the track?
Yes. I will say, just, so obviously this isn't any kind of defense at all, but I will just mention that Hamas updated its charter, I would say, to sort of sell itself as more of a resistance to an occupation rather than an organization that is committed to the wholesale destruction of Israel, which was its original charter. So that has changed a bit in the sense that it says basically we are here to fight against the occupation. And the reason I mentioned that is because I think it's important as we think about how this war is being waged. A lot of people don't know that on October 6th, the day before the war, there was a poll released that was run by an organization called the Arab Barometer, I think is the name. It showed that actually the plurality, in fact, the majority of Gazans did not support Hamas and were very unhappy with Hamas rule. The way that Israel has been waging the war, the civilian casualties, the sort of annihilistic statements that have been coming out from Israeli officials, both current and former, and the fact that now Hamas is able to say, we got your prisoners out. We have been able to get prisoners released. The PA has never been able to do that, the Palestinian Authority.
Okay.
So that worries me. That worries me in the sense that I feel like Israel is inadvertently giving Hamas some wins that they are going to be using to make the case for their continuing support for their ideology and their cause.
Okay. Jasmine, again, thanks for your time. We'll talk to you again.